Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We just wait for another 2 minutes before we start. If possible, for those who are here, please just briefly introduce yourself, please. Maybe just put down your name, your company, and what industry are you in, so that we can get to know each other better. Yeah. This is the Wednesday night again that we will be getting a lot of insights. We have Jeffrey, Sales Manager. From which industry are you from, Jeffrey? What about others? Oh, Koku. Okay. What about others? Maybe you can introduce yourself so that we can get to know each other better. We will just wait for another. Wait for another 1 minute before we start. Okay. Just give our Malaysian SMEs friends just a bit more. Then we're gonna start. Okay. Hopefully that later on no hiccups, because I can't find my cursor actually. There's some technical issues on my laptop. Yeah. Okay, it's time. Let's start. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to our fourth strong, mighty, enterprising SME, the Financial Management Web Forum series. And today, the topic today is alternative source of funds to fast track the SMEs growth. Now, this is the fourth week. Just to recap a little bit what we have spoken about or discussed about in the first 3 weeks. First week, we actually talked about the budget 2022. Second week, we spoken about the incentive, government incentive and grants. Third week, which is last week, we have chat about insurance premium financing, which we found it a very interesting that none of the SMEs, 100% of SMEs who came in knows about insurance premium financing, but it is so important and it is so useful to keep our cash flow afloat. Now, today, what we have will be the on the alternative sources of funds. Okay, so what are the alternative? Most of the time when we need the cash flow, especially during these 2 years, okay, for those who have known me, I was with the SME Association Malaysia as the National Vice President, and have been doing a number of the research and also announcement on what is happening into the SME business owners during the 2 years. Every time that we do any surveys, source of funds basically is the cash flow is the most important key challenges during these 2 pandemic years. Now, the thing is that during pandemic time, we need the cash flow to stay afloat. But right now, with the opening of the economy, okay, for those who have actually survived and continue to actually pivot and still able to operate right now, it will be an opportunity for us to climb the ladder and grow, not only grow from the local, but to overseas market as well. And to do that, of course, that we must need more funds to do it. We didn't want to buy any more materials, investment into machine, investment into the talent, digitalization, and so forth. We need source of funds. But the thing is that when we go for the commercial banks and so forth, and even the loans that the government is offering, number one, it takes very, very long time. Number two, because of the credit rating, or maybe because that the industry or sectors that you are in, the umbrella somehow doesn't reach you. Okay, somehow you are still underneath the heavy rain, but the umbrella doesn't reach you. So for us SME, what can we do? We need to find some other ways. And today, what we are gonna chat about will be on the P2P financing. And for me, frankly, as the marketer, I'm very poor in the finance. I have said this many times in the last few sessions that this few session is actually very fruitful for me because I learned a lot. Now, this P2P financing is very new to me as well, and we wanted to know more about this. But before we start, let me introduce our panelists over here. We have Mr. Yen Chi Yong. Okay, Mr. Yen is the co-founder and CEO of the Baloi Syndrome Berhad. Okay, he's in the retail sector. Okay, he has a lot of experience in the retail sector, running the franchising and licensing businesses and so forth. And he has somewhat on the this experience on the P2P financing as well. So that's why that we are inviting him to actually share his experience as an SME. What does P2P financing means to him, and has it really helped him, and so forth. Okay. Then of course we have our brother over here, Mr. Paul Kwan. Okay. Paul has been with us for the last 4 weeks, including this week. Thank you, Paul, to come in again and again. Okay, I know that your wife is complaining already, but I'm sorry. Okay, but we really need your expertise and your knowledge in terms of the financial management to share with us. Okay, and Paul has been in the financial institutions very long time. He was, for those who haven't come in before to our web forum, he was from Hong Leong Bank, and then right now he is the director and CEO of the Cofundr Malaysia. So talking about alternative financing, he is the guy. And of course, this is not the type of the along that we're talking about. This is the financing institution that is recognized and registered by the Securities Commission. Okay, so we need to know all this new financing model. Okay, new financing model that will be able to help us. So without ado, okay, sorry, I have not introduced myself yet. For those who haven't got to know me, myself, I'm Keng Teck. I'm the managing consultant of the Bizsphere brand and marketing group. We focuses on the strategic branding and marketing, as well as the capacity building and transformation for SMEs. We do a lot of the strategic branding to help our customers to steer their branding direction. We also do a bit of the outsourcing, meaning that outsource marketing, whereby we will be your marketing department. A lot of the SMEs doesn't have their own strategic marketing department, but only have the sales side. So we will be the strategic marketing department with the consultant, with the admin team, with the outreach team. And this program, which is the Strong Mighty Enterprising SME, is our program that we have developed to share as much knowledge as possible to the SMEs so that we can all grow together. That's all for the introduction. Let's get into the topic right now. Now, P2P financing, peer-to-peer financing, okay? Peer-to-peer, is it like friend to friend, I lend you money, you lend me money, or what? I'm not too sure, okay? But the first thing first, okay? This time I won't ask Paul first. I would like to ask Mr. Yen to keep the ball rolling, okay, to kickstart. Mr. Yen, okay, first of all, Baloi, this name is, I don't know what does it mean. Maybe you want to explain a little bit. Briefly tell us what does Baloi Syndrome Berhad do, followed by sharing with us Because before we talk about P2P financing, I would want to talk about, I would want to know more about the financing challenges, financial challenges for the past 2 years. Have you been experiencing that difficulties in the 2 years? Is the cash flow is a challenge for most of the SMEs for the last 2 years? Is it the same for you? Because not every SME is doing bad. Some SMEs are doing very, very good. Some of them who do sanitizer and do masks, they were very, very good. Okay, maybe you can actually share some of the your friends' experience as well. So you represent the SMEs over here. First, tell us what was the situation and what are the situations right now in terms of the financial challenges, and what does Baloi Syndrome do? Mr. Yen.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Yap. Okay, so I think Mr. Yap just introduced me. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Baloi Syndrome. So basically, let me just introduce you what is Baloi. Baloi is actually derived from the Malay or Indonesian word berbaloi, which means worth it. Okay, so we are a platform that provide FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, especially on essential products. Okay, and combining the conventional retail and also the latest technology of e-commerce that we would like to reform. The whole supply chain has been existed in the market, I think, a few hundred years. So the conventional supply chain, layer by layer hierarchy. So we would like to, using the latest technology to reforms it, whereby it will benefit all parties in the supply chain, from the manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, and the most importantly is to the end user. Okay, so basically Baloi have two pillar concept. First is O2O, online to offline. So I think most of you here has been familiar with O2O as it has been introduced by Jack Ma since 2016. Okay, so if we look at the past 2 years during the pandemic and now entering into the endemic, more and more e-commerce are actually coming into the market. So that would definitely causing constraint, especially for developed countries like Malaysia and other countries. The logistic as well as the internet speed. Okay, so in fact, with online to offline, we can actually break through it. Okay, we can even have our outlet at the rural area and even Felda, Felkra, the rural area and East Malaysia, whereby we won't face the difficulties and also the challenge on the logistic. So that's our first pillar concept. And the second pillar concept is C2M, consumer to manufacturer. Through Baloi, there will be no middleman. It is directly from manufacturers straight to the end users. So everyone enjoy the same price. So just imagine an end user are now buying with just a small quantity, but with the factory price. No longer wholesale price, it's all factory price. Okay, so this is C2M. Okay, so if let's say you want to talk about the role model that we have on this two pillar concept, I think C2M, the best is Pinduoduo in China. Yeah, it's very successful. And if you talk about O2O, He Ma Xiansheng, which is actually what do you call it, invented by Jack Ma now and having a lot of outlets in China as well. And not only in China, in fact, in US and lots more of this. But we kind of combine these two very unique concept that suit not only the Malaysia, but the whole ASEAN countries, that we can actually reform the whole supply chain that benefited all the parties, especially during this tough time. So I think this is pretty helpful to those, especially those with lower income or those that lose their job, B40, M40, yeah. So they are very much benefited during this.
Great.
So, and regarding the
financial challenge, yes.
Yes, I think for the past 2 years, most of us face the same thing. It is not easy to go through the conventional banking, yeah. And on top of that, yeah, in fact, Baloi is not even 3 years yet. So that's the most challenge. Yeah? So no matter how good you are on your proposal, yeah, your business plan, well, back to the reality, commercial banking are looking at facts and figures that you are not meeting the minimum requirement of 3 years audit. So this is the most challenge.
So, so basically is that because that you are in considered as a new company, okay, and for you to get the financing from the commercial banks is definitely very tough. And I believe that a lot of SMEs over here, some of it, the size might be small, Okay, size might be small, or they might be under the retail or the hospitality industry, whereby until today, today right now a lot of people go for travel, but before that, the banks actually, this would be the industries that they would like to avoid. They would like to avoid. Okay, over here now. The thing is that just now you mentioned Baloi. Where is it available in Klang Valley? Maybe I can visit them.
It is at many places, in fact, but those places you will seldom going. Take, for example, we are at the residential, closer, I mean, that more to the B40 and M40 target market. So we will not at the prime area. So this is actually one of our business model where we would like to cut down on our operation costs. We don't go for prime area. We don't target walk-in customer. No doubt that we have bricks and mortar, but it is more like a stockist. Okay. Better. Yeah. So So we are in, like, for Shah Alam, we are in U5. Okay. We are in Kota Damansara. We are in Sri Sedang. We are in Puncak Jalil, and we are in Puncak Alam, and a lot more. Whereby those areas that I believe that me myself also seldom will be there.
But I would like to visit it so that I can experience what's the new model right now.
Sure, please.
Okay. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Yan. So you are into the O2O kind of a business, okay, and the consumer to the manufacturers, which maybe this model will be emulated by the other SMEs as well. A lot to learn from you. But let's talk about what are the alternative financing today. And Paul, this question will be to you. You see, during the pandemic, I have went to 2 banks to get the loan. Lucky me, actually not so lucky, because I have to lucky me because I got the 2 loans. The SRF and the TRF. Okay, but the banks would ask me, okay, have you taken any loan before? I said, I have not taken any loan. That's an issue. That's a problem. I thought that I gotten no loan, it should be better, right? But some of my friends, they got loan before, but their business is affected. Then they also say, hey, that's also an issue, because your business is so badly affected. So the thing is that everyone is struggling. Whether you are good in business or you're bad in business, getting financing is not as easy as we think it is. You see, among my friends, okay, sorry a little bit old over here, that old mindset that we have not talked about P2P financing. Okay, that doesn't comes into our mind as the first choice or the first option. Okay, but what does P2P financing really mean? I'm really not sure. Can you just briefly share with us what is the concept of P2P financing? Let everyone understand first, so that when we discuss that time, it'll be more fruitful. Yeah, Paul.
Sure, Ken. Thanks, King Tik. I think you will come across many descriptions on what P2P financing is out there. So just looking from the SME perspective, simplistically, I tend to think it is like as if I'm going up to a stranger and asking them to finance me. You know what I mean? It's easy, right? It's absurd, right? But that's what it is. You are basically going up to strangers and asking them to finance you. Now, how does that work? Okay, just think of it this way. The P2P financing operator, right? Think of it as a channel or a bridge that allows you, the SME, access to potentially thousands of investors. Okay, these investors are what? These are investors, could be individual investors like you and me. Okay, it can be corporations, it can be institutional investors. And all these investors have registered on the platform and they've been KYC, so to speak. That means they've been cleared for investment. So these are not any unscrupulous investors, or these are legitimate investors. And the fact that they registered on the platform means they are interested to invest in financing you. Okay, so what this platform does is I allow you the access to potentially this group of investors. And once you're connected, then what happens? You get the chance to tell your story as an SME. Right? What do you do? How long have you been around? How are you doing? So you look at your financials, what kind of business you're in, what's your business plan, how much financing you need. and also how do you plan to pay back if you want to take X amount of financing. Okay, then what the operator will do, the platform will do is we will then quantify your story lah. You know, we will do our KYC, we'll do a credit assessment on you, and then we'll start a fundraising campaign based on your story. We share this with all our investors, so they now know what you do, what you're requesting for, so on and so forth, and all this kind of thing. So at the same time, of course, we will also price the investment lah. In this case, that means based on your risk, what is the cost for financing lah, which is offered to the investors. Okay. Now, once that's done, your campaign is successful, is fully subscribed, we will do the documentation, and then we'll disperse the money to you as the SME. And then all this is done online, very straightforward, it's very simple, it's very safe, but most importantly, it's done under a regulated environment, meaning it's under the jurisdiction of the Securities Commission. So simplistically, so if you think about it, it is like having this connection or this accessibility as an SME to share your story to potentially thousands of investors that may be keen to invest in your company by providing financing through this platform.
I have an analogy over here. Let me understand better. Okay, from what you mentioned over there, I can imagine it that family members have a very extended family, and let's say, for example, my brother wanted to expand his business, but he doesn't have enough. So normally for us, we will actually, hey, brother, sister, can lend me some money, then I do business. But over here is that in a more structured way, you not only get the money from the immediate family, you wanted to extend more because, hey, Keng Teck don't have enough money to lend you, okay? So you need more. So basically you extend to your cousin or whatever, and maybe Paul is one of a very good friend of mine that you are the one who will be contacting all the extended family, and then tell them that, hey, Keng Teck's brother got very good value proposition, the business can do this, can do that, possibly he can earn this money, but there's a certain risk and so forth. And you gather them and say, you want to finance them or not? Finance them, then later on, they'll potentially got returns, high returns. But you do that by registering with a regulated body, which is the Security Commission. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, but what's the difference between P2P financing and crowdfunding? I always confuse on these two.
Okay. It's just terminology. So P2P financing is also known as crowdfunding. It's just that in crowdfunding, you can crowdfund for, say, a specific social cause. Like say somebody needs some money for hospitalization, or you can crowdfund it, right? Or somebody is launching a new product, you can crowdfund to help the entrepreneur to launch a new product with no expectation of any returns. Then you crowdfund to finance an SME, in this case P2P financing, where you have some expectations of returns. So these are all crowdfunding exercises. In P2P, we're talking about specifically financing a company with expectation of some returns on the investment.
Okay, cool. So
now you're right. Instead of going, beyond the friends and families, apart from getting the bank loan beyond your friends and family, you can now go up to a very large base of investors where you can, go talk to them and ask and tell your story to them and see if they are keen to invest into your company.
Okay, you mentioned tell your story. Later on, I want you to help to tell a story so that we can actually understand it better. Okay, now I go to the Mr. Yen first. Mr. Yen, you have subscribed to P2P financing already, right?
Yep.
Now, I'm very curious. Okay, P2P financing, that's not, as I mentioned, it's not my first choice. Is that government also offer a lot of very low interest loan, okay, from SME bank for BSN for so many banks. Okay, during the pandemic, the government has put in billions of ringgit to help the SMEs. Why not go for such funds? Okay, and then what makes P2P financing a better choice for you to run your business? Why? Because it's so new. Wouldn't you feel very worried that, very scared that, hey, boleh tak boleh? Okay, so what makes you consider and then choose P2P financing?
Yeah, well, I think you must have some basic knowledge on P2P. It is actually a regulated operator under the Security Commission. So I think fulfilling all the rules and regulations set by Bank Negara. So I think that's the first thing first. Okay, and as I mentioned, for a new company like my current company, okay, so not even 3 years, it is really not easy to get any work cap or maybe a trade lines from the conventional banking. Okay, and I believe that a lot of SMEs faced this before. Okay, especially during the past 2 years during the pandemic. Okay, it is even harder. Okay, so likewise for P2P, you only require a 1 year operation, or maybe in details, I think Paul will be the best person to talk about this. Yeah, it's much more easier and straightforward, and the whole process will be much more simpler compared to submitting through a common or conventional commercial banking. Yeah, okay, so that's first thing first. And also, in fact, through P2P, we can actually leveraging on the public. Okay, and not only for your company, in fact, yeah, like Baloy, in fact, we are also do it for our licensee or franchisee, we call it. Okay, up to date, in fact, we have funded up to almost 30 outlets through P2P for our licensee. So it's really amazing. The power from the public. Yeah, I can just share with you one outlet with the investment of 250,000. Okay, you can actually crowdfund 180,000 in just 5 minutes. Can you imagine?
Sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, for an outlet, for my licensee, or we call it, or to be common, we call it franchisee. Yeah, an outlet investment is 250,000. Yeah, and we can actually crowdfund for them through P2P. 180,000 means they only invest 70,000 in cash, and the 180,000 they can get from the public through P2P. We can actually fund it within 5 minutes.
How can this be? So sorry, I can't. Sorry.
I think Paul can further elaborate.
Okay. Okay. Good.
This is an experience not only for me myself, but also for my licensees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
180,000 within 5 minutes. Crazy.
Yes.
And people believe your story.
Not only one case. I mean, almost every cases we have experienced the same thing. The investor is getting ready, but of course you have to do your preparation. Like us, we have, you have to work up your paperwork, or maybe call it a proposal or business plan well, so that investor can, understand your the whole business plan, yeah, well, and to buy your concept. So I believe, yeah, so you can have that too. Yeah, you can fund it in 180,000 within 5 minutes. We have a lot of cases within 5 minutes, in fact.
Okay, for this 3 to 4 weeks, not only for the participants over here, I'm sure the participants who follow us for the 4 weeks, you will be having something in your mind and say that, wow, actually got such good thing in the world one. First of all, budget 2020, so much money given to SMEs one. Then grant and incentive, can apply for grant one. Then the last week we mentioned about insurance premium financing. Insurance also can get financing one. And today you tell me that P2P financing, that 5 minutes can get 180,000 people give you money to invest in your business. Sorry, I never thought of that. I should have thought of that. My business should be very big already. Okay, I'm still using my savings from my old Pac-Man. Pac-Man last time, public bank, the Pac-Man again. Using my money from there, you see. Okay. That's good. Now, since you mentioned that, now, Paul, the thing is that what I feel is that I'm a marketing person. Okay, marketing person. In branding, we talk about telling stories. What is your brand stories that is more appealing, that making people wanted to buy? Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, over here is that you are helping the SMEs to tell the story, so that they're willing to invest. Okay, and please share a story that you have told before, and okay, what are the stories? Example, if it's not convenient for you to mention the name, it's okay. But what kind of stories that me as the individual or even company would have the confidence to invest the money to someone that I do not know? How do you do that?
Okay, I think when I say story, we don't create the story, but we ask the SME what is their story, not to make up a story, but what is their story all about? What is the
sorry, Paul. In marketing, we also don't make up story. We also ask the SMEs what's their story, and we package it better. That's all.
Yeah, so this is the same thing. So I just don't want the misconcept that we create this story. So, like for example, we had during last year, pandemic time, right? So in pandemic time, times are very challenging. But we have this customer that came to us. They do last mile service delivery, last mile package delivery. So if you're buying something from Lazada, buying something from Shopee, these are the guys that will go and deliver the products to your house. So that time during the pandemic, e-commerce is growing, right? So the demand for their service shot up tremendously, right? So then suddenly you need to hire a lot more drivers. But your billing is always 30 days or 60 days, right? So suddenly you run short of working capital because you need to pay your drivers on time, right? 30 days, you need to pay them. So then there was a working capital gap. So our story, we presented it as it is. It's in the right sector because e-commerce is growing. The demand for their service shot up tremendously. The counterparty were the likes of strong e-commerce brands like your Shopee or Lazada. The payment risk is mitigated. They've been in the business for not very long, but they seem to have secured the contract, so we were comfortable with their performance risk.
Okay.
And then year on year they've shown tremendous growth. The management has seemed to be very prudent in managing the financials and everything. They needed $500,000. We raised it within the same day, dispersed to them. From the time they asked for the money to the time we dispersed the money, it took 7 days.
7 days?
7 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need money.
The campaign took the same day we closed the campaign, right? Before that, the preparation, the due diligence, all those things took longer than the campaign. When we launched the campaign, within the same day, 500,000 fully subscribed. We closed the campaign. We went to pre-disbursement, the documentation, get all the documentation in place, get it stamped, release the money. It was a Wednesday when they first asked us to fundraise for them. And then by the following Wednesday, we dispersed $500,000 for them.
Okay. 7 days that you can get that. That is
not all cases 7 days, but this one is, at the right time, right place, right sector. The story was very interesting. So it depends on your story. What are you offering? But here's the opportunity because you got thousands of investors. Some like your story, some don't like your story. So it depends at the end of the day.
But I thought, I thought that during the pandemic, a lot of people don't have enough money. What way you're telling me that a lot of people still have a lot of money because they were willing to, if within 7 days you subscribe, meaning that a lot of people still have cash in hand to actually extra cash to actually loan to someone.
Well, they cannot spend money. They cannot go to shopping center and spend the money, so they invest.
Okay. Now. Okay. Again, I know that I said this many times already during this 4 session, but still, Paul, I do not want people to have a wrong perception. I need to make it very legitimate that it's very practical for SMEs. I mentioned this many times already. SMEs need the solutions to be very practical. Now, it's all about cost of funds. Okay, it's all about, you said you can get the money very fast. Okay, Along also can tell you immediately I give you. Okay, no problem. But what is the cost of fund? How expensive it is? Okay, you can tell the whole big story that, hey, okay, I can give you a lot of money within 7 days and so forth, but how much is the cost of fund? P2P financing is such a good concept from what I hear. Okay, if I have right now, I have a very good potential because I have one customer, I think I mentioned that before. During the pandemic, they have an order from the US. the order from US, which cost them, not cost them, the project is valued at 2 million ringgit. 2 million ringgit. But yet, during the pandemic, they do not have the cash flow to actually buy the raw material. Okay, do not have the cash flow, but the contract is there already. Is there already? So imagine if he have or he knows this about P2P financing. Within 7 days, he get the money, he buy the things, and he can accept the contract. He actually rejected the 2 million ringgit contract, and he is allowed to operate. So yeah, why we didn't know this earlier? Okay, so coming back, the cost of financing. Okay, cost of financing. What is the cost of funds? We need to jaga our pocket lah. Okay, we need to jaga our pocket. So what will be the cost of funds? Can you just explain what are the formulation, or what are the criteria, what are the guidelines to actually calculate the cost of funds?
Okay, I mean, let's be very direct. When you talk about cost of funds, it's always a demand supply thing, right? Because we are structuring it as an investment that we are putting out there to the investors. So, I mean, obviously, the higher the interest rate, because the more attractive your investment will become. But the way we price it is based on the credit risk of the company. So we look at your credit, we do a credit assessment on you, and we look at your repayment capability. Now, if that from that assessment, then we will grade you into certain grading, and from the grading, we will determine the pricing. That's how we do the pricing. So in terms of range, just to give a very practical, the ranges, the minimum that we've been charging is 6% per annum. Okay, the highest has been up to 15% per annum.
So depending on the risk.
Depending on your risk. If you are a very strong financial, strong credit and everything, you could be more towards the 6% band, right? That means you're looking at 6%, 0.5% a month per annum, right? Per month is.
If, let's say, for example, if I have a contract in hand that I know that my margin is 30%, why not?
Yeah, correct. Then the other range is, of course, then is 15%, which is 1.25% a month. So it depends. Again, if you're looking at a short-term financing, 4 months, you're only looking at what? 2.55%. That's it. So
okay, because just now I saw one question. Maybe I get into the questions first, because this related to the question, because it mentioned over here is that can you share the type of P2P financing available for companies? What is the period, minimum, maximum amount, the rate, and is there any specific industry? This is asked by Sam.
Minimum, maximum, the minimum amount that we do so far is 10,000 ringgit and above lah. Okay.
Hey, that's okay. Meaning that I don't need a lot. 10,000 is good for me.
Okay, you don't need 10,000. That one is pocket change for you. So,
I need that.
So like 10,000, because if we can do below 10,000 as well, but because of the fixed processing fee, it may seem like very expensive for you because of processing cost, right? So yeah. I would suggest anything 10,000 and above lah. Right now we kept our limit up to 2 million per customer per investment note. So this is not a loan. Okay, we are not doing a loan where there's a letter offer, there's a loan agreement that you need to stamp and everything. But this is an investment. So the company is issuing an investment paper, right, a promissory note, and the investors are investing into this promissory note.
Oh, it is an investment, it's not a loan.
It's an investment. So the difference between that is that if you look at the banks, the way the banks assess credit, maybe there's something like Mr. Yen mentioned just now. If you don't have 3 years, track record for profitability is very challenging for the bank. Why? Because the way the bank looks at the financing is they always look at your past performance to assess your future performance. So if you have a minimum 3 years track record, then I can sort of gauge what is the outcome for the future. So when I lend you money, I know I can get back the money. That's how they do it. So if you don't have the 3 years track record, for them is very susah. Come back another time, or you give me collateral, so on and so forth. Now, in our case, it's an investment. When it's an investment, we look more at the future potential of the company. Okay, so even though you don't have a 3-year track record, you may have 1 year or 2 years, or it doesn't matter, because we will look at those as well, but we are looking more at your future potential. So say, for example, you have a contract in hand or you have a purchase order in hand and you need funds to fulfill that order. So we know where the repayment source is, when we know your potential, because we know you can do the job, then we'll look at, hosting that investment to our investors, let them finance you. So that's the difference between the bank and the in terms of a loan and in terms of an investment. So we look at future prospects.
Okay. Mr. Yan, since you are here, I would like to ask you, again and again, it's talking about telling the story and telling the future story. What is it, the potential that you get? Now, Mr. Yan, in your opinion, you already gotten to P2P financing. In your opinion, what story did you tell? What are the elements of story that you tell that you believe that is the strongest point that wins you all this so-called investment, not loan, investment? What do you think that is the most appealing reason for your business that you have already managed to convince all these investors to come in and put the money into your business?
Okay, so I think very importantly that you are now, as Mr. Paul mentioned, you are now presenting it or pitching it through to the investor. So how do you want, the investor to buy your idea or concept? Okay, so first thing first, I would say, how do you solve the problem for the market? For example, you talk about my industry, FMCG, essential products has been a very, very old industry, I would say, and it's very conventional. So what is weakness and how are you going to solve the problem with your new concept? Okay, or probably maybe your new invent into your business, or a changing of direction. Okay, so or implementing a new business model. Okay, or the vision. So how are you going to change the problem that we face in the industry? So that's very important. And how are you going to be enrolled into it and make sure the company is profitable for long run? I think very importantly, I mean, for my industry is how scalable is my business. Okay, so for example, from 2019 we formed this company with the other two partners, with our experience in this industry for many years. So we managed to even grow the business in the very first year to 42 million.
Wow.
Just very first year. Yes. Okay. And at the very first year, we make our very minimum profit, but that's considered excellent because we consider as a fintech, retail tech. For those that are familiar with fintech, you know that even Grabs before the listing, also they never make profit. Yeah, but yet their valuation is rocket high. So the similar thing, okay, we are practicing, but yet we're trying to, be, what do you call it, be more relevant. We can even make our very first year profit at 300,000, a very minimum profit. Okay, so that was in 2019. Okay, so we solve most of the problem that faced by the industry's players. Okay, from the whole supply chain. Yeah, in fact, from the manufacturers to the wholesalers. Okay, and very importantly to the end users. Okay, and how do we scale the business? That's very important. And how do you maximize the profit after you have solved the whole problem that existing in the market? Okay, so last year to 2020, even we are having the pandemic. Okay, and in fact our business grew tremendously. Okay, so we managed to increase our profit 12 times, from 300,000 to 3.8 million last year. 12 times.
Wow.
Okay, so this is how we proved to the public this business model works, even though it's at the very conventional industry. So as long as you have a good business model, okay, a very unique business model, you can break through orders. I mean, just take for example, 10 years back, who knows that your car can be a taxi like Grab? Who knows that your house can be rented out as a hotel? So this is where a new ecosystem have to build up, similar to Baloi, what we are doing now. So you have to prove to the public, yeah. So how scalable and how that you can build up the new ecosystem that you can help to solve the existing issue that faced by the industry players. Okay, so this is what we had done, yeah, to gain the investor confidence. Okay, and in fact, by this year, we are even growing more tremendous. We are seeing a stronger growth this year. Conservatively, this year we are making 10 millions of net profit. Okay, our year end is next month. In fact, up to November, we already have 9 millions plus on hand net profit. Okay, that has given us the confidence to actually grow the business further, not only on this stage. So in fact, you can look at it as we try to make full use of P2P to help you up to grow your business to be the next unicorn. In fact, Baloi aims to be the next unicorn in 2025, a valuation of 4B. Yeah. So in fact,
Wow.
earlier this year, we have engaged with the international firm called IHS Markit, which is HQ based in London, to evaluate on our company, and we have a valuation of 142 millions earlier this year, with a PE ratio granted of 24.5. So you can imagine, yeah. So with this year 10 million net profit, that means that our company is going to worth 245 million next year. Just
Wow.
3 years. So how can we achieve that? In fact, it is very much depends, or maybe, you know, with the assistance from P2P. Otherwise, we will need to wait for 3 years. Then only we can grow. Okay.
Wow.
So P2P, we can in fact grow the business at the very beginning. After 1 year, you can start growing. You can start getting it, you know, to, you know, further boost up your business according to your projection and plan. You can even, you know, fasten up your expansion. Like my industry is due to the pandemic, we have to moving even faster to grab the opportunity and the market to filling up the gap. Yeah, in fact, yeah. So this is really help. So if let's say we were to wait for the conventional, I can only expand it by next year probably, whereby I think we have probably solved the whole COVID-19 issue at that moment of time. Okay? And also at the same time that we are offering a franchising or licensing to the young entrepreneurs who would like to actually enroll in this business, having the same ambitions as us, yeah, to grow the business, yeah, by fully utilizing on P2P. So that's how we expand our outlets. Up to date, we have 50 outlets. In fact, next year we are targeting 300 new outlets. Wow. In the year 2022 alone, yeah, and I believe that 1/3 of the outlet will be funded by P2P. With our track records, yeah, we are pretty confident to fund. I mean, 1/3 or 100 of the outlets from P2P. Okay.
Wow.
We keep our record every week. We funded 3 outlets.
Okay. Okay.
A little about sharing and how we can actually leverage on P2P to help to grow your business.
Well, Mr. Yan, your story not only appealing. My saliva, I just finished my dinner. My saliva also get over already. You need to tell me. When can I invest into your company? I don't have a lot. 2,000 ringgit still can put it in, but with your potential of your growth, I believe that it's worthwhile rather than I put it in my savings or FD basically. How do we get to be an investor then?
Very easy. Just sign up. Go to the platform. Fill up the form. We will do KYC on you, and then you'll be. You will have access to see all the companies, all the SMEs that are looking to raise money. You can see all their stories there. So they know what sector they are in, what they're doing, what they're offering, you know, in terms of return on investment, how long is the investment. Then if you think there's something suitable for you, minimum investment is only 100 ringgit. So we have people that invest 100 ringgit, we have people that invest 100,000 ringgit. So it depends on your appetite.
Okay, hold on. Everyone over here, I got 2 requests. Number 1, okay, I have to say this. Now, for today, what I gotten from today is very useful. So if you all have benefited from this forum or from the past 3 ones, okay, please do remember whether what you do, you tell your friends, you post it in the LinkedIn, you post it in the Facebook. Please tell them that how much have you learned from the Strong Mighty Enterprising Web Forum. Please help us to actually tell all these people that they can really benefit from this forum, okay? Even I myself that I organize it, okay, I have actually learned a lot of the new things over here. Now, just now you meant, and secondly, over here, I just want to do a simple poll over here. If you have some extra money, would you invest? Would you invest? Be an investor in the P2P financing? Please, for those who say yes, it sounds like a very good model, and I'm willing to invest. Okay, please put why. And if you are not, okay, you are not willing to, please put N. But when you put N, can you please tell us why no, so that we can discuss about it, okay? Tell us why no, so that we can discuss about it. So please, everyone, if you say yes or no, please. We have a quite number of the participants over here. I hope that I will get at least 10 to 20 of the answers over here. Let's do that, okay? Let's do that. Okay, well, I'll come to someone says, CK Cheng say, hey CK, you say that yes, if you have extra money, you have extra 10 ringgit, right? Because just now Paul mentioned you have 100 ringgit also can, no problem. Okay, Paul, the thing is that I can see that very important over here, to get this financing, ability to, when you say ability to tell the story, in my perspective, I would see it as the ability to write a convincing business plan. That would be my own interpretation, okay? Because I have actually provide training and guidance to a lot of the SMEs before. Most of them do not have a documented business plan, number one. Number two, those who claim, when I ask, before we want to consult them or before we do their branding and marketing, okay, normally that we will ask them that, do you have a business plan? And many of them tell me that, yes, we do. But when I ask them, where is the business plan? They always answer, many of them answer me, well, it's in my boss head lah. Okay, whatever he says is the business plan, no? And normally the business plan change whenever the boss goes overseas. Okay, why? Because when the boss go overseas, he sees something different. He learns something new. And when that happens, he comes like, okay, right now, team, this is our plan. This is what we are going to do. And the more often that he goes to overseas for travel, the business plan change, and the team doesn't have time to actually follow business plan. Okay, business plan. So, wouldn't it be that is the basic skill or knowledge or capability that the SME would need to have in order to participate in this P2P financing to get invested?
Well, yes, I think that would be very, very helpful if you have a business plan, because then we can see where you're going with whatever you're doing. But having said that, you can also look at it in terms of very short-term financing, because P2P financing tend to be more biased towards short-term financing. So you're talking about 12 months or less. So anything. So for example, let's say if you have an invoice that's due in 120 days, right? But you need the money today. So what are you going to do, right? So one of the things is that we can finance the invoice for you. So like today, we will let's say within the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we raise the money for you. Then at least you can use the money first to bridge your working capital gap. Then 120 days later, when your customer pays you, we take it to settle the outstanding investment. So in situation like this, you know, it is more transactional based. Transactional based. So when you talk about a business plan, you're talking about more long term. But then, of course, we want to know where you're going with regards to the business, how you're going to grow, and all this kind of thing. But there could be instances where all these transactions are within the interim period where we can help you finance.
Oh, okay. So meaning that we need not have to have such an appealing wow story like Mr. Tien have lah. So because not many of the SMEs have such a great business model in hand. Okay, Mr. Yen's one, that one. Mr. Yen, salute to you. Okay, basically not everyone will be as cool as you having that strong business model. I have to admit. Okay, I myself being a consultant, I do not have the courage to actually do something very, very different over here. So if we, as the normal SME, we need short-term financing, we have the project in hand, we are delivering project, we have the contract in hand or the invoice that we already issued, but we lack of cash right now, that is where that the P2P financing will come in handy. Am I correct, Paul?
You're right. You're right. Yeah. So this is where, you know, that we can turn around very fast. You know, based on the payment risk that your customer's payment risk, we can immediately finance you up to 70-80% of the invoice amount. Then you can use that money as your working capital to roll first.
Okay. Okay, hold on. My laptop, I cannot actually. I'm looking for my cursor actually.
Okay.
Okay, let me look at the comments over here. See what are the comments over here that I need to scroll down. A lot of the yes, right? Oh yes. If I have money, yes. Anyone say no? I'm interested to get to find anyone who say no over here. Okay. No. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Now let's. Okay. In order for the SMEs, let's say be it wanted to, so just now you mentioned that if I want to be investor, I will just go to register online. If we are interested to actually get the financing, okay, I mean the investment, what should we do first?
To get financing, similarly, yeah, just go to the website. You know, the website is it's actually divided into getting funds and investing funds. If you want financing, go under get funds and select. If you want working capital, just select working capital. There you can get access to a form where you just need to fill up some information, put in you know, your sector, your company name, all those basic information, how much you're working for, and all that kind of thing, and then just submit that. Then we will be in touch with you immediately.
Okay, fair. Now, I saw that I saw in my phone there's quite a number of questions. Let's try to answer some of the questions over here. Okay. Steve Tim asked how to get the 5,000 digitalization grant from the government. I think this we have actually discussed last 2 weeks. Let me answer on behalf on this, Steve. The 5,000 digitalization grant, what you need to do is that you need to go to the BSN website. There is a list of the service provider there. It can be on the CRM, it can be on the software, it can be digital marketing and so forth. Try to look for what are the services digitalization project that you want to do, and then look for the TSP, meaning that the technology service provider over there. Contact them, tell them what kind of services that you want, get them to quote how much does it need. Then basically what you need to do is that you will actually only pay half of it. The balance of half of it, the companies or the service provider would actually help you to submit. Most of them that I know that the service provider will actually help you to submit your application to the government to get it. Yeah, everyone that I asked, they said that the service provider is helping them. If you want to do it by yourself, of course you can, and the application is actually via the BSN site. Okay, BSN site. Hope I answered you the questions over there. Now, Bala Murugan. Okay, Bala Murugan says that new car dealership is franchise business car dealership can apply to P2P financing. Can we do that, Paul?
Okay. When you say new, okay, we need you to at least have some, minimum 12 months of operation. Then we know that your business is already ongoing. Because if you're anything less than 12 months, it doesn't fall under the P2P fund. It's more of, like startup capital that you require. So that's why in this case, for the new dealership, after 12 months of operations, definitely you send in an application. We can look at your working capital requirement based on your transaction for the past 12 months and see how much we can raise the money for you.
Okay. Bala Murugan actually left his number over here. I think that maybe co-founder might wanted to contact them later, so that maybe can actually answer some of his other queries as well. Mm-hmm. Now, Guan Han, hey Guan Han, how are you? Guan Han actually came by during our second session of the web forum. Guan Han, he was our speaker as well. Now, Guan Han asked here, P2P financing is in terms of loan? No, it's not loan, mentioned already, or raising capital by diluting shares. Does it dilute shares? I don't think so, right? Paul?
Okay, in P2P financing, it doesn't dilute your shares. Now, there's another type of platform, fundraising platform, which is similar to P2P. It's called equity crowd financing. Okay, now this one will dilute your share. Why? Because you are actually issuing new shares and offering it to the thousands of investors I mentioned just now.
Okay. Also, that is equity crowdfunding. So you would actually sell off your shares to them.
Yeah, you will actually increase your share base, right? Not your selling your existing. So
increase my share base. Okay.
You raise working capital, so you increase your paid up capital, say by 100,000 or $1,000,000 ringgit. You will then, offer that through the equity crowd financing platform, crowdfunding platform. Then they will then subscribe to it, Then they will become shareholders in your company. But of course, this is all managed through a single trustee, because we are use trustees. So it's very important to use regulated entities. So in this case, there will be a trustee that will hold the shares on behalf of the many investors. So you don't deal with sellers, instead you will deal with one trustee on behalf.
Okay. Now, there's another question over here. Stefan Chiu. Stefan Chiu asks, if we successfully raise 1 million ringgit investment, okay, just like Mr. Yen, okay, you raised already, but after 6 months, we need more funds. Okay, I believe they're very similar to Mr. Yen's case, because Mr. Yen has been continuing to grow and grow and grow. I do not know. So, but after 6 months, we need more funds. Can we immediately raise it again? Paul?
Definitely. So you must have a good story. I mean, if you need another $1 million, it's a good problem. That means your business is growing tremendously. You have more contracts in hand. In the past 6 months, you have been servicing the financing, paying back the principal and interest. Definitely, we can raise again.
So, Mr. Yen, have you done that before? Have you have experience of doing that again, raise and raise again?
Yep, we do have this experience.
Okay, so most of the time is always get what you ask for.
Yeah, I would say, of course, you have to show, like Mr. Paul mentioned, you have to show your expansions, a result, or maybe your plan well. So like our case, we offer it to our licensee. Okay, so yeah, so now we are more focusing on our licensee or franchisee, helping them to getting the P2P. So yeah, that's considered another expansion as well in our funding.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then Stephen Chiu also asked, does the invested company need to give any personal guarantees? Don't really understand here. Does the invested company need to give any personal guarantee? Meaning that if I ask for the money, I need, let's say I want to ask financing for Bizsphere Sdn Bhd, okay? And I ask for financing. So right now, co-founder has already managed to get the investor to finance me. And do I, Yap King Teck, as the shareholder, as the owner of Bizsphere, do I need to give any personal guarantees or not?
Typically, we always try to see how we can manage risk, because there's always, when we do this kind of structured investment, there's always risk of default. So yes, we do ask for a personal guarantee from the stakeholder lah. In this case, if it's Bizsphere, yes, we will ask for a personal guarantee from Yap King Ting.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Can I just go to, I think there was a question from Sam earlier. I didn't answer completely. I see the minimum, maximum amount, but the tenure that we go to, we go up to 36 months. If that's one of the questions he asked, what's the
period? He mentioned that the period, yes, correct.
And the specific industry, we don't go in, I mean, we are quite open to most industries, except for unless certain high-risk industry that we have predefined, then we may not go into it. I'll give you an example. For example, if you are in the business of selling vape, the electronic cigarettes and all.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say you come and you need a 50,000 working capital or 100,000 working capital. This one may be a bit challenging for us. Why? Because vape is so far is not regulated. Tomorrow, if someone come in and say, "Oh, you must have a minimum 21 years old only can buy, or you must pay a certain duty or whatever," then your business can be impacted overnight. So, so examples are usually we may not necessarily go into it. We may not finance you.
Okay.
So, but in general, most industries is okay. Particularly if you need insurance premium financing, any industry, you are most welcome as long as your policy is cancelable and it's 12 months or more.
Okay, great. Oh, there's one interesting question that relates to what's the aim of Mr. Yen over here. What's the potential impact of P2P on future IPO? Maybe Mr. Yen, you want to answer since you have that plan. The question is, what's the potential impact of P2P on future IPO? Is it a good thing for you to have the P2P financing so to support you to go for the IPO, or is it good or bad, or what's the consideration there?
Well, I would say P2P is at the very initial stage, and the amount is relatively very, very low compared to your IPO, definitely. Okay, so I don't see any impact here, in fact. And for P2P, I would say it's normally come with short term. So maybe 1 year, 12 months, 18 months, which I think this is too early for you to think about IPO, in fact. So don't worry, P2P, you can just go ahead. No impact.
Yeah, it's minimal. Yeah, you're right. Mr. Yen is correct. So it's very minimal impact to the balance sheet. It's just listed there as most is the current liability. Like a debt, like a bank loan kind of thing. It's just listed as that. So, in this business to grow is you need to use leverage to grow, and then so there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Okay. Then Anne asks, Anna, in a case of referring, is there any incentive? Meaning that referring case to you, I believe so. I'm interested to get funds and also refer a friend to this facility. Can I know how?
And we do have a referral program that's in place. So if you refer some business to us, we will do a fee sharing arrangement with you. So to do this, you just need to sign up as a referral because we are regulated. So everything anybody we pay out, we just need to declare everything above.
Okay lah. I have a lot of friends, man.
Yeah.
A lot of SME friends. I can refer, right?
Most welcome.
Okay. Good. I do not know that. You didn't actually tell me that. Oh, I didn't remember that you told me. I do not know. Okay. Besides, Guan Hana asks again. Besides the interest of 6 to 15%. What are the other charges when applying for the financing? I think the setup fee, something like that. You might want to explain about that, Paul?
Okay, that's a very good question, Guan Han. Thanks for the question. So you see, in terms of the interest in this case, all this interest goes to the investor, right? So let's say if your financing is raised at 10% per annum. So the investor that invests in this, they will get the 10% per annum. So for us as the platform that has helped you raise the money, we do charge a platform fee. And our platform fee is ranging 2% based on the amount raised. So if we raise $100,000, we will charge you a 2,000 ringgit platform fee. So that's the charges. Now, in terms of legal documentation, there's minimal legal documentation because unlike a loan, you have a loan document that you need to sign and stamp and everything, and you need to pay the legal fees for it, right? So in our case, it is an investment. So you're issuing an investment note. We do get it stamped, but this year's budget, the Minister of Finance has proposed that the stamping fee for all P2P financing documents waive for the next 5 years. So you have savings on that.
Well, there's a lot of savings there.
Correct. 0.5% for every for every #1. So if you're raising $1 million, you save 5,000 ringgit just on stamping fee alone.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool. And just now, I think that someone just asked another question. Again, my cursor, I can't find my cursor right now. It's quite hard for me. Paul, can you see the question, the last question? There is, I just see that. Is there any difference between Cofundr and other P2P lenders in Malaysia? Can Malaysian be allowed to get P2P borrowing from overseas too? Ooh, okay.
Well, very good question. Okay, I think there are currently, if you look at all the P2P, licensed P2P in Malaysia, there's 11 operators. So we are one of them. And if you look at it, most of them have their niche in terms of the segment that they focus on. So you have one operator that focuses on microfinancing. So if you're looking at the below 10,000 kind of financing, they specialize in it. There's another one that focuses on asset financing. So you're looking at, asset buying machinery or other assets, business assets. They will look at financing those. For us, we specialize in insurance premium financing. So with regards to any of your insurance requirement, because your insurance, you need to pay upfront within 60 days. So what we do is by financing you, we'll pay to the insurance first. So instead of you paying the insurer upfront, you can actually amortize it over a period of 6 months up to 8 months. So this way you can conserve your cash flow and use your cash flow for other, income generating expenses. So that's our specialty. So in addition to that, we of course provide working capital financing and also invoice financing. So this is what we do.
So basically, if let's say for example, if the working capital, invoicing and insurance financing, then we can look for you. But if it's a machine and so forth,
you can try the other P2P operator if you want P2P operator. But then my advice is this: usually if you're buying a machine, it may be a longer term repayment period. So maybe 3 years, 5 years, all those kind of things. If again, P2P is more suited for short term, but if you're looking at long term, look at commercial banks or leasing companies for do higher purchase arrangement. Particularly if they can take a charge on your asset, you may get some more more commercially or competitive rate if you go through them. But having said that, of course, check out the other P2P that does the asset financing. I'm not sure what is their rate, but it should be quite interesting. I think they are really making a mark in that sector as well.
Okay, very interesting question over here from SM. How about financing under scrap metal industry? For me, I don't think there's an issue. Liquor business and non-halal business. What do you mean by non-halal business? I do not know. SM, you might wanted to explain over here. Okay. So I don't know whether you can answer or not. With this, Paul. How about financing under scrap metal, liquor business, and non-halal business?
We can do scrap metal, not an issue. Liquor business, yes. Non-halal is to the extent of, like for example, online gambling, all those we don't touch lah. But as long as it's
legal,
halal, non-halal. We have our halal products coming, but then this right now is all conventional products.
Okay. And ask, I am running a music center business. Is there a possibility of getting funds to expand my business?
Yes, we can look at it.
Well, for if you, let's say for example, you're running a music music center business, most of the time before the pandemic, all the students will come to your studio. And right now, if you've developed a model that you can actually teach them or some mechanism to do it online, which you can expand beyond your area, beyond the state or beyond the country or beyond the region, I would think that that might be a very good business model and the potential growth. And I'm sure Mr. Yen will agree that this would be a very good story, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so yes, sir. So yes, sir. Mr. Oh, a lot of questions this time. Very good. Very, very good. Mr. Yang. Okay, sorry, I don't know whether it's Mr. or Miss. Mr. Yen, there's a question for you. Why you choose Cofundr compared to other P2P companies for your financing? Hey, I didn't mention that Mr. Yen actually chose Cofundr. Whether Mr. Yen have chosen Cofundr, I do not know. Okay, people ask already. You might want to answer.
No, we are working with Mr. Yen for their licensing, their franchisee, the model. So if you are taking up Mr. Yen's Baloy's licensing, you remember just now you were mentioning the 250,000 licensing. The one we are financing.
Oh, not this one. Okay, okay. Mr. Yen, you want to answer anything? No. Paul already answered.
Yep, Paul already answered that. Yeah.
Okay, but again, why do you choose to partner with Cofundr instead of other companies?
Well, I think the investor base is more relevant to our business expansion, especially the licensing part. Yeah, so that's why we choose Cofundr.
Oh, investor base. Can you explain a little bit on got different type of investment base one? What is this, Paul?
I mean, sure. For us as an operator, we need to tell our story to the investor so that like today, right? Most of the attendees they know a bit more about Cofundr, and you do the survey, they are keen to be an investor. So this is how we need to grow our investor base. So the more investors you have, whenever you put up an investment, the chances of it being fulfilled is higher, right?
Oh, okay.
So that sort of helps determine how fast you can raise the financing.
Okay.
So, like Mr. Yen said, 5 minutes he's been raising, so evidence of very strong investor base that he has indicated.
Okay. Nisha Ming Lee, okay, asked, does collateral required to apply for financing? Is collateral required?
People will always say, hey, why your rate so high? If you give me collateral, I can reduce the rate, law. If you can't give me collateral, the rate is high, law. So if you have collateral, perfect. We can, structure it for you and give you a very competitive rate. But if you don't have collateral, we can still look at your case. And then if you're comfortable with it, with your personal guarantee on it, like Mr. Yap give personal guarantee for Bizsphere, we will lend the money on, we will raise the financing for him. So it's a scenario like that. It's based on the credit assessment of the...
Okay, hold on, Paul. Are you saying that, let's say for example, because just now you mentioned to us that the rate will be somewhere in between 6 to 15%. So let's say, for example, that right now I come to you and I have some collateral to bring into the deal, meaning that the rate can be actually lower than the 6%.
Yeah, I mean, it can be, but 6% would be the base already. So you have collateral, and based on very good credit, you will get 6% per annum.
Okay, great. Okay. SM just now explained selling, buying, non-halal means selling, buying non-halal products. I'm sure that is okay lah. It's not government money one. Okay. Now, why I say that is that normally what my experience with the government is that normally government will not support all those financing, all those grant projects and so forth for the, what I would say that, what's the term? Sinful business. What's that? So like for example, liquor, cigarette, all that they would likely to avoid. But for yours it's okay, right?
It's okay for us, but we will again assess you based on the credibility of the company lah, and your story has to be there, you know, and then makes it interesting for the investors to subscribe lah.
Paul, your fans, you have a fans over here. So Stefan Chiu say, hey, I asked you a question, you didn't really answer everything, you know, because you left out one question. Can we go overseas to get our P2P borrowings?
Okay, I wanted to go back to that, but I apologize, Stefan. But you need to consider a few things. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can, but you need to look at exchange control regulations under Bank Negara about taking overseas loan from overseas. That's one. Second, you need to consider your exchange rate lah, because let's say you take from Singapore, you're basically getting financing in Singapore dollar, but you're paying your receivables over here is all in ringgit. So if the rate moves against you, you're going to end up paying even more. So I think you can. There are some restrictions based on ECM, but if you really have good justification for it, then proceed lah. But otherwise, please consider those conditions.
Yeah, because during when we spoke about the budget 2020 that time, remember the our lady, what's her name already? I can't remember. So he mentioned that the tax issue in terms of the this receiving and giving money to the overseas and so forth, you need to consider about that. Okay, now wow, a lot of questions coming in. Charles Lee asks, I'm selling industrial plasma air purifiers that cost 6,000 to 12,000. Can my customers get an easy payment installment scheme from you?
Okay. Answer is no, because we don't do individual financing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only for companies registered. But now, when you say that it not include individual, meaning that if I am a company that is sole proprietorship, so also cannot?
Sole prop, partnership, limited liability, and sediam berhad. And also,
so let's say, for example, if Charles' client is a Yap Keng Tech Services proprietorship, then can he get? Can. Okay. Charles, you have your answer. So if I think maybe when you want to market to all those little promotion where a lot of BNI members are micros. Okay, BNI members are micros and they have their own sole proprietorship company one. Maybe that would be the group of the customers that you might. Sorry, me marketing. Okay, oh sickness. I need to suggest. Okay, we want to approach them because they have a company. Okay, normally they have a sole proprietorship company or partnership company. Then you can sell to them. Then they will get the financing from Paul. Okay, but $6,000 as Paul mentioned is that sell a higher range purifier. Then it will be more worth it for your clients. Okay, yeah. Then you can also earn more. Okay. Lin B Chu. Can I get financing for gym business and how do I go about applying?
Okay. Just go to the website to apply. Now, gym business is very sensitive during the MCO because they were one of the business that were not allowed to operate until quite recently. I think the past, I'm not sure, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, they were then allowed back to. And then, any time a pandemic hit again or any concern of pandemic, they usually halt their operations because it's a place where people gather together and they were worried that it is a spreader. But nowadays, there's a lot of SOPs that you already put in place. So I think, 6 months ago and 6 months later, the whole environment has changed. So yeah, we can look at the gym business and environment financing. Again,
okay.
we need to make it, so-called attractive to the investors. Because at the end of the day, it's up to, the very good, one way to approach this is you think about it yourself. If you are the investor, would you invest into a gym business that's raising, say, 50,000 ringgit, paying maybe, say, 12%, so 1% per annum, 1% per month, right? So
But if I can tell the story, that hey, my gym concept right now would be COVID proof, meaning that I have whatever measures in place, protocol in place, okay, and even if there then basically people will come in, they will be able to avoid the chances to be infected and so forth. That would be a good story as well, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, that's exactly what we are saying. So we need to tell the story to the investors so that they can appreciate the business that you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, and how what you're raising the money for, and how you intend to repay and everything. So
yeah,
I think that information over.
As what just to quote what Mr. Yen mentioned, I remember Mr. Yen mentioned that if you can solve the society problem, okay, Mr. Yen mentioned if you can run a gym that solves the society problem, which is the fear of getting infected, I would think that would be great. I think that story would sell, and you can actually, just like Mr. Yen, open 50, 30, 100, okay, within this 1 or 2 years. Go for it, man. Go for it.
Mr.
Okay.
Yen, very good story to tell because it is at the right time as well. We're targeting B40. We had the movement control. Everybody was losing their job. So cash become, very important. So savings from Barloy really, help a lot of the B40s. So that was a very good story, good positioning, time in the market and everything.
Yeah. Yang asks again. I have tried raising from the bank and it takes ages. Okay, you're not the only one, Yang. What is the fastest turnaround time if I raise via Cofundr?
Okay,
5 minutes.
Actually, we raised the fastest we raised is in 2 minutes. We closed 210,000.
Okay, I think he's asking about what's the process. How long would it? Let's say today that I say that I'm interested. Then how long would it take that for you to arrange whatever, do the evaluation, and then start to actually market this?
Okay, so typically it's 3 to 5 days. If you give us all the information that we need, right, all the documents and everything, then within 3 to 5 days we'll give you an offer already. If you accept the offer, the next thing we do is we start the promotion for your note already. Promotion takes 3 to 5 days, depending on how fast, how soon, how long, when you need the money. So we play around with the promotion period. Then we'll run the campaign. The campaign usually we run a 2 weeks campaign. Okay, end of the 2 weeks, we assume takes 2 weeks to raise the money. End of 2 weeks, it just need 3 days for us to do the pre-disbursement of the funds. So you say
all in 1 to 2 months, max 2 months?
No, 3 weeks to 1 month.
Or 3 weeks to 1 month. Oh, that's fast. Okay, because even if you got your loan approved from the bank, okay, I had that before. I got the loan approved. I need to go to the branch to open current account, what account, sign whatever things. Then only they're gonna start to wait for the money to disperse. Already 2 months gone already. Okay. Now, Anne says, one last question. It might not be your last, Anne, because this topic is so interesting. One last question. What are the documents I need to provide for preliminary check, or what are the documents I need to send in during registering?
Oh, okay. So when you go to the website and sign up that time, they will tell you what are the documents you need to submit. Usually we ask for the financial information, the audited reports, if you have those, the bank statements for maybe 4 months or 6 months. I cannot remember. I think it's 4 months. And then usually your business constitution documents, your Form 2449, those kind of documents.
Standard statutory documents.
Yes. So from there, we will initially come back with you on a preliminary discussion and see, okay, what is the story about? And we'll advise you on how to structure it at the most cost-effective way.
Okay, good. Charles asked the similar question. Can I do referral?
Yes.
Yes, right.
Yes, you can, Charles. But sign up as a referral, so everything is above board. You don't have to worry, I won't pay you, or anything like that. Once you refer, we lock in that this is from you. Then if it's on success basis, if we successfully close the deal, do the fundraising, we charge, we collect, we will pay, we will share.
Okay, cool. Right now I know where to get extra income. We did that. Now, I don't see any new question. My last question to Mr. Yen. Mr. Yen, now as an SME, some business they struggled, but yet they survive. Some business they are doing good and growing. Today, this is our for information, for everyone information. This will be our last session for the financial management series. Okay, presented by Cofundr. This will be the last session. We will only begin our Strong Mighty Enterprising SME Web Forum. We are planning right now, somewhere in January. So give us some time, because during holidays, I believe that everyone might not have the mood to actually sit over here and listen to all this. They will be holidaying in somewhere else. So coming back to Mr. Yen, what would be your advice to the SMEs? Three things that the SME should do, whether it's financial related, non-financial related, because I see you as a very ambitious, very visionary, and also knowledgeable in how to actually secure your resources. I think that the SMEs would need to learn more about this. So what would be your three advice to the SMEs that they must take action, not only think about it, they must take action? Mr. Yan.
Okay, so I think first thing first, that for all the SMEs, I mean, I'm also still considered as SMEs. Don't categorize yourself as an SME. Okay, so your
before you continue,
yeah.
Before you continue, that's why that our SME over here is Strong Mighty Enterprising SME.
Okay,
it's not small medium enterprise. Okay. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
so
yes.
I think that you have to make full utilize of the latest technology, okay, as well as the market changes upon entering to the endemic. Yeah. So yeah. You got to really think out of the box and don't think in a small scale. Yeah, be looking at the larger scope. Okay, how you can actually expand your business through innovative ways. Okay, so don't think that you are conventional business. There's nothing much we can do. No. Do not think of that. Yeah, every conventional business, there's always a way out, and especially during now entering into endemic. Okay, so get ready, get prepared. Yeah, plan for it. Okay, and well, you can get more info, the latest information about what are they offering for the market, for example, like P2P. So how we as an SME can fully utilize that, yeah, to further expand or transform our business. Okay, so I think that's first advice. Yeah. Secondly, it's probably on the financial side. Yeah. So right. Okay, not only we have the current conventional, in fact, we have a lot more. P2P is one of the channel. In fact, we have also shared a little bit about ECF. You can further understand more about ECF. Yeah, in fact,
sorry, what's that? ECF
also successfully raised from ECF 6.18 million last 2 months ago. Investors from 20 countries. This is where you can expose to an international market. So to prove that your your business model is only recognized locally but international. So that will definitely help you for further expansion. To getting we call it cornerstone investor. Yeah, from overseas for our IPO. Okay, so plan ahead, think big. Yeah. And going for IPO not only in Malaysia, hopefully, yeah, we are targeting to go for Hong Kong or Nasdaq in one day. So think big, yeah. So I believe that we can break through all this, yeah, and be ambitious to become the next unicorn of Malaysia. Even though we are SME, everything starts from small. Okay, so financially very important. From this stage, make full utilize of it what we have in the market. Okay. So that will be on the financial part. Okay, and thirdly will be, well, I think that we have to really understand. So what is the final, what is the current business practice? We talk about fintech, we talk about meditech, we talk about retail tech, like what we have now. In fact, there's a lot. Yeah. So they are really doing things differently. Okay, very much different from the conventional business. Yeah, very much different from the the path to the IPO is differently. Talk about Grab, you see how they get listed in Nasdaq is through SPAC. So all this we got to be more more equipped. Yeah. So hopefully we can follow more a seminar or talks from Mr. Yap that organized by Mr. Yap. Yeah, so I believe that there's all those informative information or guidance can be granted. Okay, so I think that's how we can think differently. To think out of the box. I don't think that Malaysia we can't do anything. Yeah, we can. In fact, we can go internationally. There's a lot of brilliant entrepreneur here in Malaysia. In fact, yeah. So a lot of very successful businessmen is from Malaysia. And they are from SME on the very beginning.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Yen.
From me.
Thank you. Again, I will need to ask you for a coffee, and if you can give me a little bit guidance and coaching, okay, if possible. Okay, I really need to think out of the box, but my mind is just keeping that. So I'm able to help a lot of the businesses out there, but might not be able to help myself. Maybe you can be my mentor as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now
there's a request for your website. Stefan has asked for your website. Do you want to announce your website?
Yeah. Mr. Yen, your website address.
Sorry, I couldn't get you.
Your website address.
Oh, website now, baloy.com.my.
So BALOY.com.my.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Stefan, I hope that you have really got it. Now comes to you, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 things. Money talk. Okay. This is our last session of our financial management series of the Strong, Mighty, Enterprising SME. After going through in terms of the budget, grant incentive, insurance premium financing, and overall P2P financing. Now, how can we jaga our money and grow our money? Okay, that financial part, a lot of SMEs are not great in. What are the 3 simple, briefly, 3 things that must do?
3 things to do to jaga your money.
Yeah. Jaga and grow money. I don't mean jaga. Jaga no use. I can grow the money.
Well, of course, to grow the money is to look at investment opportunities. But that's, in times like this, when everybody is cash strapped, I think have a good financial strategy in place. Particularly, I think most of everyone, the SME here would know what they're doing, but always look ahead in terms of your cash requirements. So if you do need the funding, in the 3 to 6 months and those kind of things, start preparing now, because it is getting very competitive out there, and the market is liquidity is drying up. So you may want to consider, if you need money, start considering raising funds early. And then when talking about all these alternatives are good, but it all depends on where you are in terms of your business. So my advice is that if you've been in business for 3 years, you have the audited accounts, you are profitable, you're in an established industry, go ahead, go to the banks and take advantage of the financing that's available now, and also those special loan scheme that's offered by the government. But if you're not in that category, you don't have the 3 years, and banks don't want to talk to you, you don't have the track record, then consider all these alternatives. P2P is one. You don't necessarily have to come to Cofundr. There's 10 other players out there. You can go talk to them. They may give you a good deal as well. And there's also like Mr. Yen mentioned earlier, there's also other ways, such as equity crowdfinancing, if that suits you. So that could be another alternative for you in terms of.
Okay. Great. Now, myself. Number one, I would advise the SMEs, whether you are good in it or not good in it, you need to have your business plan. Okay, whether it's a lengthy one or just a few sentences is okay. Have a business plan for your next year 2022, because when you have that, you know what you need, you know what you lack of, then only you know where to look for the resources to go forward. Okay, that is number one. Number two is that I always have been engaging the government. So despite that I'm no longer the National Vice President of SME Malaysia, but I still liaise with a lot of them, is that right now is the 12th Malaysian Plan, the start of the 12th Malaysian Plan, and working towards of the shared prosperity vision of the 2030. Government has allocated a lot of the funding to support the SMEs. Okay, please don't or never think that, okay, I have no chance, it takes too much time and so forth. If you think that it takes too much time, no chance, or don't know how to do it, come and approach us. Okay, maybe we can help you to actually advise you what to do and so forth, and recommend you something. Please don't waste that kind of opportunity that is offered to the SMEs. That's number two. Number three is that, of course, Malaysia right now is losing competitiveness. Why? Is because that we are not advanced, is very advanced, but yet our cost of the labor is increasing, and our branding and marketing capability is not as great as all those Western countries. So my sincere advice to everyone would be that invest in the technology, whether it is in your manufacturing, industry 4.0, or digitalizing or your operations, also okay. And of course is that branding, marketing. Okay, you have good products, you have good services, and people need to know, why are you so good? Why should I believe you? So that story need to be crafted out in a simplistic manner that people can comprehend and people are convinced. So please do that. Don't only just have money and then get the money and just advertise like that. Strategy is very important. Look at who you want to target and then where you want to play the game. That is very, very important. So that will be the three advice from me for this financial management series. Okay, and right now, before we go, I have three requests for everyone. Three requests from everyone. Okay. Paul, you want to add on?
Can I just add a couple of things? First thing is that I think in regards to P2P, for the first time, the leverage to secure financing now is in your hands, because it all depends on, you know, how you position your company, your story, and everything. So it's in your control. This is the impact of fintech. The whole fundraising process has been democratized for, you know, SMEs. You know, so take it. We are here to facilitate. And before we end, I'll pass it back to Kim Tik, but I just want to say a special thanks to Bizsphere for organizing this series of this web series of a past. This is the fourth one. I truly enjoyed myself. And of course, Mr. Yen for attending joining us as the panelist today. But you know, thank you very much, Bizsphere. I need to mention that. Okay, sorry.
Thank you. So that is one of my requests to every participants over here. Seriously, I really like you all to tell more of the SMEs. If you really think that the whole series of this Strong Mighty Enterprising web series is really beneficial, you can understand better what is available out there, please do tell your friends about it. Okay, whenever that we push it out, do share with them. That's number one. Okay, number two is that we need you all to actually engage with us. We send out a lot of emails and so forth. If you have any suggestions in terms of what can Bizsphere do using our network, using our connection, using our web forum, to actually disseminate very, very good and informative information to SMEs, do write to us, or you can write to me directly. Zach, can you write my email into the contact site so that they can reach me? So that is the second request. The final request over here is that this is the last session of the Strong Mighty Enterprising SME Financial Management Web Forum series. I would like to have a very good memory. Okay, so I would like to request all. Okay, usually I don't actually demand all, but this time I need to have a very good memory that we have successfully concluded the 4 weeks, no rest. Every week we will think of what to talk, and we have finally completed the 4 weeks successfully with your support. And I would like to see who has been supporting us. And I would like to request right now for everyone to open up your cameras for my team members to take a group photo, please. Thank you very much. Zach, can you coordinate, please? If there is someone who have not opened up their camera, can you please name them so that they can open up? Thank you very much. And then when you're ready, just tell them that ready, then we take it. Then thank you very much. Please, everyone, let's take a photo together. Are we ready, Zach? Say something.
Yeah, we are ready in count of 3.
Oh, actually.
Wait. Everyone open already or not?
No, not everyone. Most of them.
So okay. Please mention who have not opened. Anne, Brian, Ochan, Wu, CK Cheng. Okay, Haziq, Jasun. Okay, who else? Haziq and okay.
CK Chang.
Okay.
Haziq. Wu.
Yeah, Wu. WL. Okay, let's do this. Kim. What about Kim? Okay, ladies normally will be hiding yourself. Okay, let's do this. Zach, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much everyone for your support for the whole 4 weeks. Okay, what we will do is that we would actually be putting up the recorded session of this Strong Mighty Enterprising Financial Management Web Forum series into the Bizsphere YouTube, so that you all can actually refer to it, and also you all can actually share with your friends as well. So we are going to compile everything into one session. So and we will actually email to everyone, to every of the participants over here, and we look forward for you to go and review it, go to share it. And when we have our second series, which hopefully that we can start in somewhere in the January, I really hope that I will see you again. And I wish everyone, if I don't see you, I wish everyone Happy New Year and have a progressive, successful, growing new year, a new start, a new SME, which is not small, medium enterprise, but strong, mighty, enterprising SME. Thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you. Really, really nice to have everyone over here. Thank you, Wu. Thank you. Thank you, CK. Thank you, Rukumani. Thank you, Mr. Wu. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Charles Lee. Maverick, thank you very much, Maverick. I'll get back to you, Maverick. I'm sorry that I have not able to get back to you as soon as I want to, Maverick. There have been many of the good friends over here that we have engaged continuously, and I'm really happy that if we even have helped 1 or 2 of the SMEs over here, I'm already very happy, and that's fulfillment for me. Okay, and I believe that is the same thing for Paul as well. To start up this business is to really help out the community over here. Yeah. Thank you very much. So the session would close in 30 seconds, and we really look forward for the next year. Thank you very much.